Hey everybody, it's Ryan Metzler here again, and today we're going to take a look at a very small, very simple abstract game that's called Bambam, Booboo. It's played with simple little bamboo tiles. You're going to be sliding them out onto the board and trying to create a pattern before your opponent can create the same type of pattern. The first one, of course, to make their pattern winning the game. So real quick, we'll take a look at what you get with the game, we'll see how it plays, and we'll come back here at the end and get my opinions on Bambam, Booboo. So here you can see the setup for Bambam, Booboo. Now basically all of the pieces in this game are little bamboo rectangles. They actually look to have been taken from like a placemat or something. You can see them here. But this is the final production quality of the game. So what you get if you get this game is you get these pieces. Each player will have their own color, either kind of a white or a black. And this is, as you might have guessed, an abstract game. To start the game, one player is going to slide one of their pieces out to the center of the table, and I apologize that these are probably a little bit hard to see on here, but this is the brown player's piece. The next player has the option of sliding in a piece, and they can slide in a piece so that it touches one of the previous pieces in any way. So you can place it like this, you could place it adjacent here, you could place it something like this, you could even place them end to end like that, or even halfway like this if you would like. Now, basically this is going to be the only action in the game, is sliding in a piece and trying to make a pattern. So the next player could then slide in a piece like this in order to touch that one. However they'd like to slide them in. Now, you're going to continue sliding pieces in one after the other, trying to make a pattern, or one of several patterns, and the first player to make one of those patterns will win. What those patterns are basically a larger rectangle. So you'll see that if I put 4 of these pieces together in this position, I've got that larger rectangle. The same is true if I put 4 of them together in this position. I've got the larger rectangle, or alternatively, I could put them together like this. However it matters, you need 4 pieces to end up making this larger rectangle type shape exactly in one of these 3 combinations. So you're going to be trying to outmaneuver your opponent by sliding pieces in these manners. The tricky part is seeing all of the combinations and setting up a scenario kind of like a fork in chess, so that you can get out there and make it so that your player who's opposing you can't block all of your moves, because obviously if I place right here, my opponent's going to come in and they're going to stop me by placing a piece here. Then I could perhaps place right here, but they're going to come in again and they're going to stop me from placing like this. So you need to pay attention to possible scenarios that you can set up so that you can make a choice to block something but not be able to block another option, or set up 2 possible win conditions at the same time by maneuvering these pieces through. There's really not much more to say about it. That is the whole concept of the game, except for that if you play all of your pieces without having a win condition, the game changes a little bit. What's going to happen in that scenario is that you're going to start sliding pieces back off of the board, and you must be able to slide them out. So for example, I couldn't take this piece here, but I could take this piece here. If I do this, obviously it creates a disconnect in the board, but I'm able to reposition this piece somewhere else. If there's a disconnect, the smaller portion is going to get returned to all the players. So all pieces in the smaller portion of the board would go back to the respective players, who would then play them from their own area again, sliding them back out in order to try and make the combinations that I talked about earlier. The first player to, of course, make one of these combinations is going to be the winner of Bambam, Booboo. And there you have it. That is Bambam, Booboo. There's not a whole lot for me to say about this one. It's a very, very simple abstract game with really only one move that you can make each turn. You're going to slide a piece out and determine where to place that piece. Now you can block off pieces by placing things in a certain way. If you block off an area so that a piece can't fit through it and leave an area blank, you can prevent your opponent from making a move that perhaps could win them the game. So there is some positioning information there, some positioning choice to make so that you can hopefully gain an advantage or block your opponent from getting that same advantage. Note that sometimes they may want to slide a piece in lengthwise, but the hole that they need to go through is only small enough to slide it in vertically, or the turn the other direction, the smaller direction. So there is some strategy there. I wouldn't say that this is a deep abstract. I would definitely call it an introductory level abstract with choices that don't even come close to rivaling the GIF series, where you sometimes have multiple options of how to move a piece, or you know, the classics like chess or Go. There's just clearly not as much going on in this game as there are in those, but if you're looking for a way to introduce people to the concept of abstract games, get a very simple pattern recognition and design type game, Bambam, Booboo may be a great option for you. value. I do love the little bamboo pieces. I can't deny it there. Not my favorite abstract game, but one that I think has its merits for newer abstract players. If that sounds good to you, check it out.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check